Welcome to the town hall on how to do a play day. We're also excited that you're here. Let me let someone else in really fast. Hold on, where'd they go? Sorry, I have to wait and get over here until I can see them. I know you're here somewhere. Where are you? I may have to go back out because it was coming up for me and then it stopped. Let's make sure everybody's in. Yep, looks like everybody's in. So that's good. Okay, back we go. Okay, so for those of you who may or may not know who we are, IPA-USA is the USA affiliate of the International Play Association. So there are 20 countries that are formally a part of the International Play Association, and there are over 50 countries that have members in the International Play Association. And so we're just the USA affiliate is what we call ourselves. And so some of the pictures that you're seeing on the screen are play days from years past who have done play days and gotten mini grants. And so we're going to talk to you about the mini grants. Lindsay's going to talk to you about the play days. And we're just going to keep moving on because we've got lots to share with you. So there's ways to get involved with us. We need people, volunteers. We're all volunteers. And so the board has created these different committees. So if you see a committee that you're interested in joining, please feel free to email me. My email is at the top of this slide and say, "Ooh, I want to know more about," and then I'll get you connected with that committee chair. We are getting ready. We just closed nominations for the new board that will take their positions in January. And so some of these chairs may change, but they'll still keep you up to date on what's happening. So the chairs of the committees are really a huge part of our work. And then we were awarded Screen Free Week. How many of you are having trouble with screens replacing children playing outside? I know. It's crazy. And so we're very concerned about it. And so Fair Play, who used to be the Center for Commercial Free Childhood, that then changed to Fair Play, sent out an RFP last fall, and we were awarded it in October that we're now the people for Screen Free Week, but we say it's screen free every week, not just the first week of May, which is when it is formally supposed to be done. And so we're hoping we can encourage people. And there's a huge movement now. I don't know how many of you are part of the listservs with the Screen Free Action Network or the Children's Network or the Get Phones Out of Schools Network. But I mean, there is a movement happening to reduce screen time. People are beginning to see how it's impacting children. Porch play chats are conversations with people who are just as passionate about play as we are. Everybody who has a passion about play is welcome to do a porch play chat. And the next series starts in January. So we have January 8th and 9th, 13th and 15th. And if you see any of those days or you're interested in doing a porch play chat, just email me and we'll get you scheduled. There are over 275 free ones already, and they're all on YouTube, free to you. They're great conversation starters. We have directors who use them at staff meetings. We have graduate professors who use them to introduce a topic. They cover everything, and they're fun. We have a lot of fun with them. I'm going to take us to the IPA-USA website. One of our newest initiatives is the Children in Crisis to respond to the floods in Texas. And then we'll be doing sort of similar things with any national crisis that is out there. So Children in Crisis, I'm going to switch us to the website. So give me a second. There's some people. I just want to make sure in the chat everybody's good. Oh, good. I'm so glad you said it's a ginormous problem because I agree with you. Melinda, we're glad you joined us. I'm going to send you a PDF of this PowerPoint so you'll see everything that you might have missed in the first couple of minutes. All right, so I'm going to stop the share and take us to the website so that you can see everything you ever wanted to know about IPA-USA you can find on the website. So let me go. I just have to find the website. While I'm here, I'm just going to show you Playful Ponderings. We'll get to that in a minute. But Playful Ponderings is the journal, and you'll get the invitation to submit a paper. But I just wanted you to see that this beautiful journal, of which in our audience is a person who wrote an article in Playful Ponderings. We're really looking to get practitioners in classrooms to talk about what they're doing with play in their classrooms. And so it's a beautiful journal. There's Lynn's. And Lynn, my husband, was so excited when he saw board games because we have 350 board games in our basement. And we play board games all the time. And so I'm in the basement at the moment looking at all 350 of them. So I said he should write an article about additional board games that are good for young children and middle schoolers. And so, but he was thrilled, absolutely thrilled. He said, "Oh my God, board games." And so that just is, we do a journal at least once a year whenever we have enough articles. We do the journal. All right, let me go find IPA-USA. It's here somewhere. There you are. Okay, so let me reshare now really fast. And then Lindsay, I promise, is coming, but I just wanted everybody to kind of see where things were. So for those of you who don't know what we do, everything about us is here. If you're interested in knowing what the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child is all about, it's right here under advocacy. Here's Screen Free Week. These are our policy briefs. I do want to show you the white paper. So this was the 50th anniversary white paper. There are 57 articles by 59 authors. And it is on it's an amazing group of people. We have currently 8 categories. And all you have to do once you go to the table of contents, so I'm going to go to their pictures because that's the easiest way for me. Because it's 617 pages. And so I'm just going to go to Beverly's really fast. And so if you click on her, it's linked directly. So you don't have to go through 617 pages. You can go to the author, see what their title is, and then just click on it and go read it. It has their executive summary, and then it has their article. And so the white paper is amazing, free to you, and it's on the IPA-USA website. So IPAUSA.org/white paper. And the reason why I showed you that is because we have a call for another series of white papers. And so I'm going to give you that link in just a few minutes. Under recess and play is our response to Kerr County, the Kerr County flood. And so we're asking our members to gather other people in Texas to host play days all across the state of Texas because everyone was affected by these floods. And so one of the things that we've done is we've taken the Children in Crisis book that was done originally in 2007, updated in 2017, and then I updated it again. And so we have activities and guidance for children in crisis for parents and community supporters, and activities for guidance, activities and guidance for children in crisis for early childhood and primary grade educators. So we sort of took the huge document and broke it down into pieces so that you weren't overwhelmed with the amount of pages that were there. And it's practical, easy, practical things that you can do. And so we have, if you're interested in helping out with a play day in Texas, if you're from Texas, or if you want to keep this in your back pocket, you can download these two resources here, and then you can save them. And when there's another horrible crisis, as we seem to be having lots of them, you can come to the website and we'll have something up there to try to gather people together. And then in the white paper, one more thing I want to show you in the white paper at the very back, if you have a passion about anything, in the very back of the white paper, sorry, you're hearing all the history. If you ever want to know anything, it's all in here. But in the back of the white paper is in the executive summary, and I'm hoping it's next in the table of contents. Yeah. So in the executive summary, at the very, very end, so if we went to the healing power of play and then clicked, you would find policy briefs on every child deserves a break, how parents can support the child's right to play. And it's like a research document that will help you create something for your legislature that you or your city council that you can use as evidence. So it's at the very end, there are all the policy briefs. So I wanted to show you that too. Okie doke. So let's see. I don't think there was anything else. So I'm just going to go back. Oh, except for the conference. I guess I should show you that. So the conference, let me go back to the little scrolly thing. So the conference is in Louisville, Kentucky. It is all about seeing children and what they're actually doing instead of just saying, oh, they're just playing. And so you can find everything you ever wanted to know about the conference here. But the deadline for early bird registration is September 12th. And because we know everybody's struggling in this economy, the early bird registration for an IPA-USA member is $300, and that includes everything from Wednesday night to Saturday afternoon. And so it's very economical for those of you who can come. And we would love to have you there. Okie doke. So now we're going to stop that. And I'll look at questions in just a second. And we're going to go back to, here's the flyer that you'll find everywhere on Facebook and Instagram and anything I ever mail you if you're a member. And here are the nominations for Doctor of Play and the Child's Right to Play Advocacy Award. These are presented at the conference. Here's the, oh, be louder. Oh, can you see? Did I share with you? I don't know if I shared with you. I was bad. Oh, I was bad. Sorry. Good job. So I'm going to go back up here so you can see what you missed. There's the flyer I hope you're seeing a lot of. And here's the nomination forms. And while Lindsay is presenting or at the end, I will put all of these in the chat so that you know what it is and when you get the PDF tomorrow. This is the mini grant form for National Day of Play, and your deadline to submit this is when? August 17th, isn't it, Lindsay? I think it's August 17th.
Yes.
So that's coming up. This is the white paper. call for papers, and that's due by September 12th. Here's your playful ponderings. That's our journal. And then I showed you the spring journal. And then this is something that Josh Thompson, I put it on Facebook and Instagram so far, Josh. And I because you sent it after I had sent out the big blast yesterday. So they need early care and education folks and administrators to just go to that QR code that's not spam that you've been hearing about and complete this online survey that asks you questions about exploring playful learning. And so if you can help them with that research, they would be very grateful. And again, you'll get this tomorrow. Okay, so I'm turning it over to Lindsay. And Lindsay Jelski is our play day coordinator and has been doing play days for years and years and years. And so you are very lucky to have the expert. And so she will, I'm going to get the chat open.
Yeah, we'll just kind of go over some of the ins and outs, and it's really not as hard as you think it is. It's much easier. It flows really well, and it can be as simple or as large as you want it. So any fears that you have that it's a big undertaking, you don't have to worry about it. It can be morphed into a very simplistic undertaking, and then you can turn it into larger events as you move forward. So any questions, just let me know. This is our 3rd year doing the National Day of Play. For myself, it is our 5th year starting it. And it
Oh, did you freeze?
sense
I
when
think
we go
maybe you
to
froze.
explain what the day of play is. So I'm going to start off by, oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, you're freezing off and on.
Is this any better?
That's a little better. Turn off
Okay.
your picture, turn off your video. Okay. That'll help.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go.
So words don't always make sense, and you kind of just seeing it's going to give you more of an idea of what a day of play is. So this is from this past September.
And there may be a commercial in there. I tried to get rid of it, but it didn't. You can go to Virginia Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
So I'm going to just talk over it because I don't think the sound's coming through, which is fine.
Yeah, probably
okay,
not.
that's fine. So I'm part of a nonprofit group. There's only 5 of us. There's only 5 members. Our only money that we receive for this is through fundraising, and we just send out about 70 letters to local businesses or politicians. We've had nonprofit status for about 3 years now, or maybe we're going into our 3rd year. And we have been doing this now for 5 years. It started off with just a monthly play date in the park where we had maybe 20 kids, and it has now grown to our monthly play dates have maybe 150, and then our day of play has about 200 people that come throughout the day. And it's all about just the child-led play. We take over a park, we fill a U-Haul truck with loose parts. You can see the parts there, right? They're boxes and balloons and PVC and shaving cream. We had a mud kitchen last year where we created a little portable mud kitchen for the kids to play in. And we just focus on child-led play and very little parent involvement. We have a couple volunteers. Again, there's 5 of us. We'll walk around and just make sure kids stay safe. And then we also will have some high school kids to come in, and just because they'll need community service hours, and they'll come in and they'll just help us clean up or refill things, or open new shaving cream bottles, whatever that case may be. But we really do this with about 5 main people, and we have done this with very little cash. And when I say that, I say under $500. We've been successful doing this because it's all about looking for donations, garbage picking, and just looking at objects differently. So the sewer drain that you saw there, that actually was thrown in a field and sat in a field for 10 years. And I finally asked the company, can I have the sewer drain? It's been sitting there since I bought my house. I would love to take it. And their response was, someone dumped it here. It's just been sitting here. Go ahead, take it, do what you want. And now that is one of the main staples for our events. All the kids want to be part of that.
Okie dokie. So I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. If I can find the PowerPoint.
So when you talk about the day of play, it sounds it's hard to put to words, right? You'd say that we're got a whole bunch of loose parts in a park and we just let the kids play. But once you see the video and start to see pictures, it kind of makes more sense. You're able to kind of get a feel as to what you're trying to aim for, and what the overall space can look like. It's going to look different in every location, and that's the best part is it can work in any location, indoor or outdoor. So again, we started this for the National Day of Play in 2023. And so I'm located in city of Tonawanda. So we're basically between Niagara Falls and Buffalo, New York. And we're only about 3 miles big. And we just take over one of the parks that's along the Erie Canal. And this is where we host our events. And again, it's the purpose is to remind everyone what it is like to be a child and to play. And then we also really focus on that multi-generational aspect of play. If you saw in the video, we had the model rockets. So here I'm tapping into grandparents who grew up with them, probably when there was a fire charge to it versus a little button now. Who probably did it with the adult child who's now able to do it with their child. So we're bringing in at least 3 generations to kind of come together and play in different ways. And again, we're focusing on some simplistic concept of play that any organization, whether you're a nonprofit, a school, a daycare, just an advocate in your area who can go out and
Oh, Lindsay, did you go away again?
nope, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Oh, can you hit the
Yes.
go?
I want to say that it's also for college students. We do a
Mm-hmm.
play day every spring during Spring Fest at Delaware County Community College with our students, and it is crazy. We have, we get those burlap sacks that we used to do potato races in, and they do wheelbarrow races, and we even play musical chairs, and they love it. It's
Mhm.
hysterical.
Everyone likes musical chairs. It doesn't matter what age you're at.
Yes. Oh my goodness, they are so competitive. It's great.
So one of the elements that really want to focus on when it comes to the days of play is that educational piece. You can bring parents in, you can bring caregivers in, and you can have kids play, and then it just doesn't go anywhere from there. So what we do, and these posters are available to you to print, we have different posters that are set up in different locations. So where that big hamster wheel goes, where they push it up this little embankment, sit inside, and then slide down, we have the poster that talks about risky play. So this way, as the parents watching their 4-year-old push this thing up this little embankment, they're able to then kind of get sidetracked with their eyes to a poster that's explaining why the risky play is okay, or why is the shaving cream and the mud and the paint all over their body okay. We have an area for the messy play, and we're telling them what it's doing. So that educational piece is how we take it home, right? We're able to then place the posters throughout the play space, and then we're able to talk to parents about those posters if they say something, and they typically do. They'll typically ask, like, I never thought to keep the kitchen sink for a mud kitchen, or I never thought to ask a florist for their dying flowers so we could play with the petals. And so,
Can everybody see these photos? Okay, good. Ellen, I'm not sure what's going on. Megan says she can see them.
I can see the thing that says risky play in the center, but I'm
Yes,
not
those are the posters.
okay, just not seeing photos. So
Oh,
that's
not yet. You won't see photos yet. It's
perfect.
just the posters. It's the photos of the posters that Lindsay's created.
They're beautiful.
and
Yeah.
like, and there's more than just this too. So there's additional posters that may just have quotes about play, or it may just have those, those those I have to stop and think about it, and now it's triggering something in my memory to kind of hijack the parents back into thinking and remembering why play is so important.
And it's so nice that parents are able to say, oh, that's why we want them to play, or okay, I really need to start relaxing and let them be a little riskier. Um, so it really is a parent education as well as children having a great time.
Yep. And I feel too like one of those buzzwords, right, is like executive functioning skills for kids. So it's
Mhm.
simply by having posters that talk about it, you're already drawing in parents' eyes to see what it's going to say. So again, there's multiple posters that are available to you that you can print any sizes you'd like. And then we just kind of put them out. And you could do anything from printing them on foam board if you have the funds to, like the poor man's laminate where you just take packaging tape and just tape it across a couple times just to secure it so it doesn't get ruined from all the water, the spray paint, right? And then so who's involved? The day play partners, it's everyone from individuals, agencies, programs, schools, museums, other organizations. Um, Again, we have partnered with our recreation department with different aspects. We've partnered with our Kiwanis Club this year. They're going to have their action club come in and cook the food for our day of play this year. They're going to do hot dogs and hamburgers. We partner with our firemen. So here, all the kids are playing all day with all this stuff, but now we have the firemen coming in to hose them all down so they don't have to go into their cars full of mud or shaving cream. Now they're just wet, right? So parents know to bring towels because that's how they're going to go home. It's just soaking wet versus muddy and full of shaving cream, right? So there's lots of different organizations that will join in and will help, and you just look out into your community and see who's available and who also has that same mindset with kids and play. And you'll be surprised that there's other organizations that will easily jump in on this with you. Any questions so far?
They're just saying the parents loved reading the posters last year. Someone just completed your survey, Josh, and they said it only took a couple of minutes. So there you go.
Great.
All right. So sorry, there we go.
So, again, some of the general considerations when we first did this, we didn't really know what to think. We originally started at a park that had a playground, but then we wanted to move around the city to show where other playgrounds were. And we quickly realized that not all the parks have a bathroom or have running water. And those are factors that you really do need to consider. Is there access to bathrooms? Is there access to water? Are you in a spot that has traffic? Because a lot of our foot traffic comes from families who were going to walk along the river or who were trying to avoid the thruway and went the side streets and ended up driving past us and saw us. Um, Shade and shelter is always important when it's outdoors. Large spaces are great because then you can really spread out. But again, you can be as large or as small as you want. Our first year doing it, we were in a space no larger than a traffic circle. We took a little traffic circle in the middle of the city. Not a lot of traffic goes on it. And we were like, this is where we're going to do it because if there is traffic, they're going to see us and they're going to stop. And that's where we started. And again, we do this with 5 people. So your manpower that you need can really be as large as you can go, or really you can do this with a few people as well. And also looking into those loose parts from the different businesses in your area, right? Look for the garbage picking. If you know anybody in DPW, just put it in their ear and let them know I'm looking for really big boxes, or I'm looking for sewer drains, or I'm looking for kids' toys, or whatever it is. And they can quickly reach out to you then, and you're able to go grab that material without having to have funding for it.
Well, and
Um,
I think the other wonderful thing about this is that because you are allowing children to choose where they're going, they're going to be pretty focused.
mhm,
And you're not trying to herd them. You're just there to support them.
yeah.
And so it's such a big difference. It's really difficult for people to really think works, but it really works. They
Yep.
really were.
And right, so you essentially start the day off with like stations, but they're not stations that we would say like in a school. There's just the messy station, so it's farther away. There's the box station, so it's all kind of in one area. There's a sensory station, there's an art station, but by the end of the day, because you welcome children's lead on it, it's all intermixed and mixed together, and that's okay. And I think that's the big stress to put out there to the parents, like, it's okay, you don't have to clean it up, and it's fine that he wants to take the cardboard box over to the firemen and use it as a shield. You know, all that is fine, we'll clean it up later.
Do we have templates for letters for donations? And Lindsay's going to talk about the liability insurance in a second. Do we have templates for letters for donations? Lindsay, do you have anything
Um,
that you send out?
so I can share the letter that we're sending out this year, but I feel like you need that personal connection that's part of your organization, or your business or whatnot. So the way that I start all the letters off is I don't start it off with your typical, my name is Lindsay and I'm asking about a donation for my day of play. I started off with a memory. So a quick 2 sentence statement that says, "Do you remember when the neighbors down the street got the new refrigerator and the box was at the curb?" Because now that's drawing in whoever is reading that letter, because
Mhm.
they're going to remember this, right? That's going to be a core memory for people. And now they're going to kind of look further into the letter. And I just keep it real simple, and I keep it to the facts of there's been a decline in play. This is what's happening because there's a decline. This is one way that we're trying to combat it. Please help us sponsor it. And I can share that template, and you can pull and take what you'd like from it, not a problem. So again, when it comes to who's involved, you have your play leaders, your volunteers. Anybody can be a leader. It could be parents, it could be students. I'm in New York. New York State has the requirement for graduation that seniors have volunteer hours. So we pull maybe 10 volunteers throughout the year to come in and help us with the cleanup and the setup. And the rest of the time, they're just looking for the hazard. So they're not looking for the risk, they're just looking for the hazard. If there's a kid with the PVC pipe and they are beating a box because they need to get that motion out, we allow them to do that for a few moments, but then we ask them to, okay, can you now be done with this, or check the box before you start to hit it with the PVC pipe. And the kids are always great with responding, and they're always respectful, and they do stop. As far as facilities, again, it's you're not having them go from station to station. It's here's all of this. We're setting up multiple opportunities for them, and then the rest is all free play, all free choice. And really the big part is the setup in the beginning and then your cleanup. And your cleanup's always going to take longer because everything's everywhere. So I do suggest, if you plan on storing stuff, clear totes are great, and then put a little label on them. Um, but that's essentially your biggest time, is the setup and then the cleanup. Because that in between, when they're playing, you're just kind of walking around and talking, and you're just watching and enjoying the kids playing.
Lindsay, about how long is a play day
So,
that you do?
so when we do our smaller versions, which are monthly, our pop-up playgrounds, we do them for 2 hours. We used to do them for 3, but we found that people kind of were coming at the end and we were just exhausted. So 2 hours seemed to be a good time frame for the pop-up playgrounds, because it's a smaller event. It's not as messy. There's not as much to do. There's no food added to it. Um, but when we do the day of play, we do it for 4 hours. We do it from 10 until 2. And then we bring in vendors for the food, or one year we did pizza and we sold pizza slices, or we tell people to just do a family picnic, pack a picnic, bring some towels, come play. But this way we kind of hit all ages, whether they're taking naps. So we're just kind of giving enough opportunity, because you still do have sports you have to combat with, or dance or gymnastics. So that 10 to 2 kind of gives you a good opportunity to hit all ages.
And then
Uh,
do you want to talk about the permits or insurance and
yeah, is
all
that on the
the
next page
liability
or
stuff?
is that the next page or is this one?
No, that's this one.
Oh, that's
Partnerships
okay.
can help
Sorry.
cut the red tape.
Oh, yeah. So, our first
You
year
want
we
me
did
to,
this, we had no insurance. We just kind of crossed our fingers and hoped nobody would get hurt. However, now we've purchased insurance, and there's different insurances you can purchase for under $500 that covers everything. I think ours is like 350 for the whole entire year, and the
Mhm.
only thing it doesn't cover is fishing for some reason. We're not allowed to go fishing. So there is that there is that option to seek out that third party for insurance, but you can also work with different organizations to just kind of go under their insurance. Most municipalities, if you partner with them, you're then covered under their insurance. If you partner with like a Boys and Girls Club or a Kiwanis Club or Scouts, you can typically go under their insurance. So you don't have to worry about adding that additional cost or anything. Permit.
One of the things like for the conferences, we get just event insurance.
Mhm,
And it's just for from the 21st, for example, this year, the 21st of October to the 25th of October through the 25th of October.
mhm.
And it costs us like $280 for the whole conference. So if you're doing it, if you say, I want to do 3 play days in the year, and so these will be the days of the play day, then it, they do it based on the number of people that you're anticipating and the span of time. But
Mhm.
again, if you're going into a community park and you talk to the city, they should already have that insurance.
Yeah, the recreation departments typically will already have that. And schools, I've done them in schools and it's been covered under their insurance as well. Our school district would have us come in right before budget votes. So the parents come in, so hopefully they go vote. And we've always just been covered directly under them, and we haven't altered any of the things that we do because we're going into a school. It's still the same stuff. Um, and when it comes to permits to just, we didn't do any of that when we first started because we didn't know that that stuff existed. If you're going to do it in a park, you may just have to fill out a permit request for your city in order to do it at a park. And so just keep that in the back of your mind. If you're doing it on your own, on a city property, you may have to put in a request. And that's where you could talk to your assemblyman or councilman to see what you have to do for that.
So I have to tell you what happened at my college when I took my students out for the very first time. It was my very first semester there. I took students out. We had sidewalk chalk and spray sidewalk chalk, and we had uh, a big, huge parachute, and we had the potato sacks, and we had a big Jenga thing that they could build together that we got from our student area. And we had jump ropes, and we had jacks, and we had Chinese jump ropes, and um, we had frisbees. And I'm just trying to think what else we had. The maintenance people, I thought were going to die. No one had ever done anything outside. And so they like came running out to make sure we were close to a drain so they could hose off the sidewalk chalk. And I said, why would you want to hose it off? So, so sometimes, but after that, now everybody in the administration building always goes to the windows and watches us play. And the maintenance people leave everything there until it rains.
Hmm.
So, people are like, but then they kind of calm down. So the first time might be they might have a few more concerns, but then,
Because
they're
again,
just not used to it.
you're what you're
Oh, are you in
paying,
there? I
sharing like
can't.
the video that I shared that kind of gives people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can
Are
hear
we
you
good?
now.
Okay. Like sharing the video, I think is a good way to kind of just further explain what it is, because when you pitch it by words, people look at you cross-eyed with it, right? They have no idea what you're talking about. In the words of one of the officers who came last year, he was newly hired onto the force and never had experienced any of our events before. Um, they just got the call that there was a U-Haul throwing garbage in the park. So he was tasked with coming to investigate it. And I was like, yeah, I know. I mean, it looks like it's garbage, and yeah, it probably is garbage, but we're gonna build forts with it and play with it and rockets and we're gonna have fun with it. And then we clean it all up, right? Like that's the trick in order so we can continue to do it. We're gonna clean it up better than it was, right? So we're gonna make sure that the ground is completely cleaned up. Or in the case of like the mud kitchen that we did this past year, um, we chatted with our Parks and Rec department. Here's the space. Where would you like us to do it? Because there's going to be mud, and he put us kind of in an area that's got a dip, so this way the mud could kind of fill in. We have a kiddie pool that we fill with bird food, and while we're down at the park, there's lots of geese and ducks, so we just kind of spread the bird food for the birds. Um, so just we clean it up, or if we have a lot of boxes, we coordinate with our DPW that so they're aware Monday morning after the event that there's extra cardboard boxes between the garbage cans at the river, just so everyone's kind of in that same cleanup mindset and nothing is being there's no oversight on it. Um, and then when again, for who you want to come to the play dates, I would say that if there's a sweet spot, your sweet spot's probably going to be your 1 year olds to your maybe 11, 12 year olds. But it really is all ages. We specifically brought in model rockets years ago because my husband wanted to shoot them off. And then we found out that there's a whole bunch of other people that really like model rockets, or they haven't done it, but they used to like it. And then we found an assemblyman who absolutely loves them, and he purchases all of our rockets every year. So we'll purchase 36 rockets. We'll have a rocket build. So, and they're the easy Etsy snap together rockets. He'll purchase them for us. We'll invite people to come build them with us. We ask them to take them home and just decorate them. And then they bring them back the day of play. And we've purchased all of the engines for it. And we just shoot them off for the kids. And then the kids go chasing after them. And that's where you have that generational play of the grandparents with the adult son, who then is bringing the grandchild. And that is just such a special, fun time, that I think is one of the things I look forward to is just seeing that type of play take place. And then it also is with the concept of like the fort building too. It takes a little while, and sometimes the adults want to go in and play, and then they came with their parents, and now they're all building a fort together. Um, when it comes to the teens who are volunteering, I always tell them it's the easiest volunteer hours you'll get. I'll give you 8 hours for the day, and you have to work hard for the first hour and a half. Then you get to play, walk around and just play. And then you got to clean up again for like the last 2 hours. And they end up having the time of their life, or they ask to come back, or their sibling is now asking to do it the following year because they heard how much fun it was. So we really do bring in that element for the older kids, even though if an older kid walked by, they would be too cool for it. We're trying to still bring in that portion for them, whether it's a Gaga ball pit, or the volunteer hours, or asking them to, can you hang out at our maker table and just make sure kids don't eat glue. But meanwhile, they're creating all this amazing art out of pipe cleaners, right? So we're still providing opportunities for the teens. We're just not letting them know, because if we do, then they're not going to want to do it, right? So I think that's another fun part too, is just that engagement with the teens. Um, and we're also making sure that we're mindful to different needs. So we have areas for your sensory play, and we have it, your sensory play is going to be more your younger kids. So we'll put them more in the shaded areas. Maybe we pitch a tent, or they're under trees. We also have just, we have everything spaced out. So it's not as loud. Now, when you do this indoors, it is louder. So sometimes you might want to do smaller groups depending on your space, but we just try to be mindful to the different needs of the kids. So you may even want to consider, if you're doing it indoors, maybe the first hour is a sensory hour. And this is when you're inviting families with kids with the sensory needs to come in prior to it getting much louder or chaotic. Um, and again, this is also a fun time to have play objects that are not typically allowed to be played with. You can ask um, music stores in your area if they have any damaged equipment, any damaged instruments that they can't sell, but they're just holding on to them, and they'll donate guitars or they'll donate broken keyboards. And sometimes kids just want to sit there and strum the guitar for an hour, and they just want to be able to play with the guitar or the keyboard, but in another situation, don't touch that, don't break that, right? So we're giving them that opportunity as well with an area that kind of just has a different approach on play as well.
Lindsay, there was Kelly asked about most school insurances cover their playground. I would think so because
Yes.
they don't fence off their playground. So my guess is
Yes, and like the term playground is, it's not a metal structure. It's not, a ropes course. Although we do create a ropes ladder that we hang from a tree, but it really is. It's just a play space for kids to kind of create their own playground in ways. It's not an adventure playground, although the original idea for it is inspired by New York City's adventure playground. But this is just a more portable, safer, should I say, um, a more acceptable type of playground. And then as far as the rockets, I buy them off of Amazon, and you can just type in, I think it's ETSE model rockets, and they'll come up with a bunch. And I think they're fairly reasonably priced as well. And they're ones that just kind of like snap together. Those are the better ones. If you get ones that have to get glued, that just takes a lot. Um, when it comes to like your different pieces for that you want to collect, again, it's kind of focused on loose parts. So it's going to be your carpet tubes, your paper towel tubes, boxes. We have a factory down the street that every Monday I know they're going to have driveway to driveway worth of boxes from whatever it is they do in there, but they're already folded, they're taken down, and I just will go fill the van up sometimes and then we just store it until the event. But you just start to pay attention to who's tossing what and where, or just asking different carpet stores, can we keep your tubes? Will you cut them down for us because they're 15 feet long, and they will. The drainage tubes, like the hamster wheel, that was for us, again, that was a lucky find, but we've secured other ones as well, smaller ones. And that's just asking DPW or different sewer companies, if they're plumbing companies, like if you have any scraps, can you give us a call? We'll come get it. And really, we use social media for everything else. We just put like a wish list of different things we need, and then people start to send us messages saying, I have a box of bed sheets. I have, a box of newspapers. Do you want them? And then they start coming up with other ideas too of things that they have that we're like, sure, we'll just take it. We'll find a purpose for it. Spray bottles. The one thing to say about spray bottles is the dollar store spray bottles are not worth it.
yeah,
Spend the extra
do
money
it. Yeah.
and get the auto stores have spray bottles. I think those are the best ones. You're going to spend a little bit of extra money, or just ask, see if there's a auto mechanic in the area who will just donate a case of them. And now you can say he's a sponsor, and now it's a win-win for everybody. Washable paint, shaving cream, you can get the cases off of like Dollar Tree, and those seem to be the cheaper option. You definitely want to pay attention to the shaving cream. It always has to be sensitive. Make sure you don't get the menthol. Um, Big logs, hay bales, noodles, whether they're dry noodles, cooked noodles, pool noodles. Pool noodles are great. You can slice them up real quick with like a fruit knife and just make little slices, and then PVC pipe, and they make these great color combination things. And I never thought that was the intention, but that's what the kids want to do, is they want to work on patterns with it. Again, going back to flowers, the florists don't use all their flowers. So they will 100% donate their flowers. Even your grocery stores, Trader Joe's, I know, is a good one for it as well. When they have flowers that are not able to be sold or used in pieces, they just toss them. And you could just ask if you could have them. And then you can fill up a kiddie pool of those, and the kids will just do what they wish with it. Pots and pans, again, that's stuff that people are always getting rid of. The foam machine, we actually got our foam machine through the IPA mini grant, IPA-USA mini grant. And that's how we were able to purchase it. And we just used dollar store baby soap, and it works great. The kids love it. And that's one of our big hits with it. The bubble machine, too, if you can get one that has the electrical outlet for it, those are the best. You don't have to worry about the batteries. You can just make sure you just keep filling it up. And there's just so many different things that you can find, whether it's on the marketplace on Facebook or just through social media, asking your community and just driving around. Um, that I think it's just thinking a little differently, right, as to what you can use and what kids would want to play with.
Lindsay,
I-
Kaylee is wondering, where do you store all this stuff if you're going to do it often?
Yeah, so up until 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, we stored it all in my garage. And then my husband said that he was tired of that. So then we started to ask businesses if they would sponsor our storage unit. So we had a business sponsor a storage unit for an entire year. We had businesses sponsor U-Hauls for us so we could transport. Prior to the U-Haul, we would just try to gather as many people we knew that had trucks or vans and just store it all. And we really just kind of did with what we had. We had a two-car garage at our house. That's where it all went. In Buffalo, we don't really do stuff in the winter because it's a little bit harder at times to do stuff outside. And so for us, our season ends after September. So our day of play, we get rid of all of the cardboard boxes, and then we just organize all of our totes, and then that's it. And then in April again, we start to collect all of the cardboard boxes all over again for the season.
Lindsay, Katie wants to know how you give businesses the recognition when they're sponsoring you.
Yeah, so what we do is we have playful tiers, right? You go to different any type time there's a fundraiser, you have like your gold tier or tier 1, tier 2, your silver tier, things like that. We wanted to make them playful. And I'm not sure if it's in this or not, but it's in the PDF that we'll send you. But they're just playful badges that we came up with. So our top tier is a playful professional. Our $25 tier is a creativity contributor. We have our $50 tier, I think, is imagination igniter. So we're just making fun, playful tiers, and we do a shout out on social media. And then the day of, we have a big banner printed out. And you can get banners printed for under $50. But again, if you know a print shop, you might be able to just get that donated. And then they turn into a sponsor. And we just do that, and then we have it hanging at the event. And then for a couple of weeks after the event, we also do additional shout outs to people for thanking them for being a sponsor as well, because we obviously want to thank everybody for helping us.
So Melinda says that if you're a not-for-profit, some U-Hauls will donate their trucks to you. She
Yes,
does a school supply and giveaway events and holiday toy drives, and they often donate so she can transport things.
I have not given up hope. I keep asking. All they tell me is I can get tax right as tax no taxes on it. But I try every time. But that is important. Because again, you don't know if you know somebody who owns a landscaping company. They have huge trailers. That's,
Mm.
you can put everything in a trailer. But again, for we started this in 2019 was our first pop-up playground, and we did not start getting U-Hauls until 3 years ago. We did this all with just our van and a garage and a couple other people's trucks. Um, and it worked out great. You just get very good at packing vans and vehicles, right? Um, so again, you don't really need a big budget. We started this with under $100. We served over 40 kids for our first one. And again, it really comes down to thinking outside of the box and looking towards the community for different items that you're looking for. Um, And again, we use the DPW for some of the bigger ticket items. Grocery stores have those banana or egg boxes. Those are so sturdy and those are great. And they give them away anytime you ask. Same with alcohol stores, right? Any of the liquor stores, they have great boxes, but then you'll have somebody's going to have that smart comment to you about like, oh, you got alcohol here with a bunch of kids. You're like, no, it's just the box. But those are good boxes as well. Um, any connections to carpet stores or to
Right.
appliance stores, they'll let you come out. Spa stores have really big pieces of cardboard. Again, your florists or like your different grocery stores that have flowers, they're great for flowers. The garbage pickups, again, just every week, maybe just do a quick drive around your neighborhood, see what's out at the curb. Kiddie pools, especially this time of year, you're going to find them everywhere. Sand tables, plywood. So we garbage picked plywood last year, and then we made our mud kitchen with a piece of plywood that sat on top of two totes that were upside down, and kiddie pools around it, and some little kitchen um, sink buckets, and that's how the kids made their own mud kitchen. Tire shops will give away tires really quickly. Obviously, you have to make sure that they're not, there's no wires or anything like that. And if you do want to spray paint them, they do take a lot of paint. But that's another venue for other loose parts would be tire shops. And then again, the social media, you can ask for everything. Those buy here, or no, what are they called? Buy nothing, give not, so Facebook pages where people just get rid of stuff for free. You could get swings, you could get rope, you could get ladders, you could get slides, all that stuff you can then use as well. It's just again kind of thinking creatively and asking, and I think that's the big thing is people are always afraid to ask. But once you start asking the community, and then you do it one or two times, and people start to see what you're doing with it, then you have them just randomly dropping boxes off in your driveway,
Mhm.
or like there's times where I come home, I'm like, whoa, I just got a truckload of cardboard. I have no idea where it came from. Because people just start to remember that this is the kind of thing that you're looking for all the time. Even with schools, more so when the schools are closing for the year. Um, they go through and some art teachers get rid of their faded paper because it's faded. Well, it's still perfectly good paper. So if you get with the custodians and just say like, when you come across those art supplies, could you give me a call? I'll take them. And now you have a whole maker table and it's just because paper's been faded or maybe the colors got muddy or something like that. Again, you just really have to just reach out to your community and just ask.
We would go to FedEx, that used to be Kinko's, right? And I would say, hey, when you're doing any cutting of any paper, can you just save it for me and I'll come by in a couple of days and pick up all those strips? And you would not believe what they did with all the paper. It was
Yep.
absolutely amazing. And
Yep.
so you can get all those scraps for free that just go on a maker's table and kids have a ball with them.
Yep. And also too, if you have a visual arts board within your city or you have any art galleries in your city, whether
Mm.
they're a big museum or a small little art gallery that's, 10 by 20, you can always ask them for the donation of their supplies as well. And that's essentially how we created our makers table was one year, the visual arts board that I sit on, I said, hey, can we do a donation for this? They said yes. And that donation one year still has paid for our makers table for the last 3 years. So you're able to really push the envelope and you just start asking all the people you can because once they realize what you're doing, they want to help.
I think the funniest thing that Lindsay has in this whole thing is don't be afraid to ask. I mean,
Yeah.
all they're going to say is no. I don't like rejection, but I
Yeah.
still ask.
So when I got the sewer wheel, I first had called, left a message, nobody called me back. And then I stopped the one day. I had both my kids with me and they were little. And I stopped and I walked into this warehouse and I went up to this window and I said, you have this sewer drain in the back. Can I have it? And the lady said, I have no idea. Let me ask. She walked away from the window, walked over to the office behind her and said, there's some crazy lady here asking about our garbage. But it's the greatest thing that I have The kids absolutely love it. And like I said, worst case is they say no and I move on. But there's been so many times that we've asked for different pieces or donations and we're surprised by they gave it to us, and it's just asking. And if they don't do it 1 year, you try again, and that's fine.
Lindsay, talk about the cardboard on the hill that you did this
So
last
I
month.
didn't do that. So that
Oh,
was the
who did
kids.
that?
The kids did it.
Oh, the kids did it.
The
Okay.
kids created it. So there's a little embankment where we do our play days, and the kids figured out that if they flatten boxes and then put it on the embankment like a slide, that they could then sit in a box and then turn it into a slide. And that is now the new thing that the kids created, and we just simply allowed them to create it. And that is now the first thing that they make when they get there, and that is what they're playing on through the whole time. And actually, this last month, they actually took the hamster wheel, rolled it up to the top, filled boxes up with all of the ball pit balls that we have, which we use an inflatable pool for to put all the balls in. But they filled the hamster wheel up with the balls, and then they lifted the hamster wheel up and all the balls came down. So then the kids were sliding down the hill on top of the balls. And it was just so much fun, so much laughter, and it was the greatest part, and I missed the first 5 seconds of it on camera. But other than that, it's awesome, and the kids wanna keep doing that now. Even with the rope ladder, we had our friend Cameron, who's in Scotland, right, Deb? He showed us
Yeah.
how to do a rope ladder in 5 minutes, and that's one of
Mhm.
the first things we do is I find a sturdy branch, I throw a rope over it, I do a quick little rope ladder with some PVC and the ropes, and there's a line all the time waiting for it. Um, and that's another thing. So with that, we had donations of I don't know what they're called, gymnastics pads. Right? There's all these kids are dancers, right? Or they do tumbling, so all the parents have purchased all these, like, tum
Uh-oh.
but now they don't do them anymore, so now parents are trying to get rid of them, and they just bring them and donate these tumbling mats now, so we have a safe padding for when kids wanna do something like that.
Lindsay, I know you sent me the cardboard box and the ball thing, so I'm going to attach that little clip
Okay.
to what I send you guys tomorrow because it was fabulous.
It was fun. I mean, I don't think I've ever laughed harder. It was great. Um,
Okay, I've got a whole list of things that you're getting with your video tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to go down to another one. Okay, have we
um,
already done this?
yeah, so again, just, keep in mind that you probably you should look into insurance or waivers and ordinances. We don't do waivers. Maybe we should. And that's mainly because how do you get a waiver for the kid that just drove by on his bike? So we didn't really want to exclude kids. So this is something that you need to make a decision on yourself. I cannot guide you on that. Um, might be a good idea to have that. But again, with insurance, you can get insurance for the events or for the year rather cheaply. If you work with your cities or your organizations, you can typically go right under theirs. Um, and
And
again,
I have waivers and a photo release that I'll also attach.
mhm,
So that when we started this long time ago, photos, so
yeah.
and waiver. And parents would just there was some this is you have to sort of get the parents to come to the opening table or the welcome table so that they're able to sign those things. But
Mm. But
it
then also if you do like if you have a virtual version too, you can always send it out to a parent if they're not there. And then the parent could always do that virtual waiver as well. This way, if a kid does show up on their own, you could be like, okay, well, just text this to your mom, and then they can do the waiver on their end.
okie dokie. Okay, so I'm going back to chat. I think this is oh no, here's some more.
So again, with your participants, we kind of talked about it, but it's your parents, it's your teens. You want all ages, and it was funny because I made particular posts this past month that said, "Hey, grandparents, are you looking for something to do with your kids this year or this weekend? Bring them down to this." And there were many grandparents that said, I've seen your posts. I just never thought to take my grandkids until you said it. So get specific too when you start advertising. Say parents, you know, grab your coffee, grab a chair, grab your girlfriends, and come on down and bring the kids, and you sit back and relax. Or like, wouldn't it be great to have a nice hot coffee while your kids are playing? Here's your opportunity. And then specifically hit the grandparents. Say, grandparents, take your grandkids and bring them on down to play. Because I think sometimes we need that direct suggestion because we're not making that connection, right? So get specific with that. And again, older kids and teens, they will play and they will have fun. And I think it's a fun way to kind of just get them to kind of come in and drop the whole cool act. My son's 15, so we're at the cool act right now. And this is an easy way to kind of get them to still engage.
And
Um,
there's this game that teens love, I mean, all the way into their 20s, called Werewolf, that takes nothing. And it's just they have to figure out who the werewolf is, and people are guessing, and it's hilarious. And the teens love to play that. So if you've got a group of them and they know werewolf, they can teach the other people how to do it. It's so much fun.
yeah, and also like floor is lava. If you get those plastic stepping stones, that you can all get those on the marketplace as well. But the floor is lava, the teens love that. They just make up their own floor is lava with the stepping stones. So it's almost like a combination of Twister and stepping stones and floor is lava. So that's
Mhm.
another fun opportunity that you can just put there, spray paint it there, or just leave the components there and they'll figure it out, right? Also, to use the grass, just, get a permission, but you can buy the spray paint that's gonna just, come off the grass anyways, wash away, or just simply get
Whoop, you left again.
a
But
chessboard.
it's
You can
and the
build,
chalk, they have chalk spray paint that's really good with it.
yeah,
It just
yeah,
washes.
and you could do like walk like slither like a snake and then draw the lines on the grass, and everyone will still enjoy that.
Mhm.
Um, and again, you can go as big or as small. And it's okay because it's still going to be a different type of play than people have done before. And that I think is the important thing with these is most people have not seen anything like this yet. Most people haven't thought to play like this in an outdoor setting. It's usually
Mhm.
like their own kids in their kitchen, right? Or in their living room. And here's your opportunity to really do it on a big scale. Um, go back to
Here's the
coordinating with your DPW, let them know that you have an event and you're going to just have extra garbage there. See what they want. I know for us, they have a particular place they want the cardboard boxes. So that's what we do. And then you may want to, you'll want to bring trash bags, gloves for your actual supplies. I swear those clear totes have been the greatest game changer. Until we were able to afford those, we just used boxes and then we would just label the boxes, but boxes don't last very long, right? So they would fall apart and then all of our supplies are on the ground. And you just simply make do with what you have at that moment, and that's fine too. If you have any gyms in the area, you could see if they have any like lost and found tote bags,
Mhm.
and then you can use those for supplies as well. Those are great. And then also in our video, you saw that we have the fire department come. So again, our event goes from 10 till 2. Our fire department comes at 1:30. They have kids come and like look at the fire truck and see Sparky the dog and all that. And then the last 15 minutes, they hook up the hose and they start spraying everybody. But what they don't realize is I'm now getting the firemen to play, even though they say they don't want to play, because now
Mhm.
they're purposely playing with the hose, trying to get the adults that are on the outside of the play space. So again, we're kind of getting everybody involved and everybody playing, even if that was not their intention. But the fireman is an easy way to get the mud off, the shaving cream off, the sweat, the paints, the bird food, whatever it is that they're covered in. And you just tell parents that, bring a towel. And it's just an easy way to kind of clean up everybody and send them home. It makes the cleanup of cardboard a little difficult if the kids bring the cardboard into the water, but that's okay. We're the ones doing the cleanup, so it's fine. And it's again, it's a lot of fun. We did a cleanup before with the um, Earth Day. We did an Earth Day cleanup, and we took those stepping stones and we did a floor is lava cleanup game. So the kids had to pass the garbage without getting off the stepping stones. So you can make it fun, and you will be surprised by how many families just stay to help you clean up as well.
And I'm gonna look for a picture that you sent me of the floor of lava so they have an idea what that looks like. Or
Yeah.
could you send me one and then I'll put it
Yeah,
up?
I'll look for it. I know what year it was. It was right before you went to World, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll see if I can find the photo.
So here's the storage.
So again, storage, like I said, we used our garage. We did the garage. We are trying to work with our DPW and parks. They just don't have any space. If you can have different businesses sponsor a storage unit, or maybe somebody has an extra garage, or there's a boatyard that has storage. Um, People know people, and you just have to start to ask and put it out there, um, and see what you can do. Like right now, we have a councilman who knows somebody who owns multiple storage units. So he's trying to see if he can get a storage unit for us so we can stop paying for it. But really, you use your garage, you use your space, you use multiple garages. And for me, it's a temporary thing and it's okay for the short term. And again, for transportating, the whole carpool strategy, the U-Haul, a landscape trailer, um, maybe it's just if you're doing it at school, maybe all of the boxes are coming to school throughout the month prior. Everyone just brings in boxes and then the totes come later. Um, and it's kind of the storage is the hard part. And that's kind of, you just kind of have to figure out where you have. But any donations you can get of totes or gym bags that can help you organize it those are key.
At the college, I have like 8 buckets of loose parts that we use in the classroom. And so I went to uh, one of our admins and I said, I need storage. And she said, okay. I said, it's for stuff for students. She said, okay. And I said, where can I store it? And so she gave me a copy room that had just a copier in it and lots of other room. And so I have 8 buckets of loose parts in the copy room
Yeah.
at school.
And it
So
works,
again, just
like
ask.
my house the week before gets a little crazy, but then it all goes away and that's okay.
Okay, so here's a little bit.
Yeah, so
Uh,
again with the fundraising, and it's in the PDF that we'll send you. And I'll send a letter, one of the drafts that I send, and then you can tweak it as much as you'd like. It's just when we ask for donations, we're asking for monetary or we're asking for supplies because it's different for everybody, right? If the company has a wholesale account, their ability to purchase something is going to be different than my ability as a person. So I'll ask for monetary or for actual supplies. And then again, I make the tiers just playful. Um, and I really love our tiers actually. I just think it makes it more interesting and we kind of hit all levels, whether it's your $25 person or it's your $1,000 business. For marketing, we have the IPA National Day of Play logo that you can add in. And then make shirts. I think having shirts is fun. You could put the logo on your shirts. You could put just get outside and play. You could do a quote on your shirts. I feel like a lot of people have crickets, or somebody who has a cricket who can make shirts for you if you needed something even cheaper. And then really just start promoting your event now. You can promote the event without knowing what supplies you have. And that, like that's fine because the supplies are going to slowly start to come in. But if you're committed to doing the event, you can start to promote it now. And then, it's just whatever you can get from now until then, that's perfectly fine. And I think that's different with our event, right? Because I feel like all these other events, you have these big things that you have to do, but this is really, you can do whatever you can do within your means, and it's going to be successful because it's going to have kids out there playing. And then again, you can reach out to your local sports teams to see if they want to come out, reach out to your local news channels, see if they'll come out and cover it, your local newspapers, even different podcasts, or some of your like AM channels have different times you can go on. It took us until last year to finally get news coverage. And that's all I like, just wanted it on the news so more people could learn about it. That's all I wanted. And last year was the year that we finally got news coverage on it. And this year we're doing two different podcasts for two different radio stations. Because the more that we can get the message out, the more people are going to learn about why play is so important, and the more people we're going to get playing. So it's just, you reach out, you never know. Some places will advertise for you for free, other places will charge money. That's when you can say the whole, I could turn you into a sponsor if you want to just advertise for free for us. And also invite different radio personalities too, because if they bring their kids, they're going to talk about it on the radio then too. And I think, having those little, maybe you're making like a postcard invite and sending it to different radio or news personalities that have children, and if they come out, now you're also getting the event out there as well, just through them talking.
I was just thinking of another place you could go to get things cheap would be like to a Goodwill and get dress up clothes. Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
Yep.
And just have a little dress up area that
Yeah, but even if you just ask for old Halloween costumes, people
Mhm.
will they'll start bringing you bags of it. And then of course, for when you do it this year, it's going to look one way, and then next year when you do it again, it's going to be bigger, because you're going to hit everybody up right before summer starts for all the garage sales, for all that stuff that they're going to try to sell, right? So you're going to be able to grow it even faster the second year.
So last year I think we had 23, 25 maybe
I think
um,
25.
days of play for the National Day of Play all across the US. And so this year we're hoping to have more than that. The mini grant will be the link will be in the PDF that we send out. If you're already a member, you've been getting all of that stuff and the links for quite a while. Um, Mini grants, you must be a member of IPA, and that's like a little over $50 because you pay in British pounds. So because it's a world organization, but it's like $50.24 or something for a year. And then that gets you a $250 grant to do a play day. So something to think about if you're not already a member. Anything else, Lindsay, I'm going to go to the chat box really fast because I haven't been there in a few minutes because it was taking over and I didn't want it to.
No, I think that's it. I think the big thing is just so many, and myself included, I sat here for years with this idea, and I was like, yeah, but like, I don't know how to do it. And it took a friend of mine to say, well, let's just do it and figure it out. Right. And that's exactly what it was. She made me commit to a date, and I had to just figure it out because I was nervous to not do it right, but there is no right way to do it. Right. So I think just knowing that there's no one way to do this, and the goal is to just get a group of people outside and playing or inside and playing, and where the parents are kind of like backed off a little. And then that's the goal. If you have 5 people show up, it is 100% successful because that's what you wanted. And then
Yep.
next time it's going to be more.
Okay, so any questions that we did not answer? I'm looking at the chat, seeing if there's anything there. Josh just put up that survey again, so be sure that you do it. It'll only take you a couple of minutes. Let's see. Let me see what else is here. That was screen stuff. Anybody have another question that I have not caught? I have lots to send you tomorrow. So if I forget something, I have a whole piece of paper here with everything I'm going to send you. So you'll get the video, the link to the video, because I'll put it on YouTube. This will be on YouTube. And then you'll get an email with everything that we went over today. Any other questions, anybody out there?
Not a question, but we had a play day here in Dallas last year, and it was lots of fun. We're planning a new one this year.
Yay.
Because it's so hot in our area in September, it has to be indoors.
Mm-hmm.
But we had lots of building cardboard and parachute play and had some interactive games for parents and children to play together.
Mm-hmm.
Music activities. We had more toddlers than we expected.
Oh, nice.
So we were the loose parts were not supposed to be in the toddler area because there were things that they could swallow. So we're having to figure out how can we separate those things that are
Mhm.
small parts that little ones might put in their mouths or ears
Mhm. Or up their nose. Yeah,
or
don't
up
forget.
their nose.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
had that several times when I was a director. Yep.
Oh, yes.
Gravel
Yes.
on the playground, up the nose, in the ears. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but we didn't think about liability.
Mhm.
We did have parents sign photo releases, so there are additional things we need to be thinking about.
Right, and hopefully wherever you have it, the indoor space would have liability insurance so that you could just, if it happens in their space.
Tag onto it.
Yeah, we didn't ask about that, but we'll ask this time.
Yeah, just to
I
cover you.
And I can
So,
say too, like while I'm knocking on my patio table, in all the years that we have been doing this, and so for us, our season of the pop-up playgrounds, which again is just a smaller version, um, those are from May until August, and then our day of play is September, obviously. There's
so your day
nothing.
of play is 4 hours
Yes, our day of
and
play
your
is 4
pop-up
hours,
plays
and
are
our
2
pop-up
hours.
play is 2. It used to be 3. This is our first year we did 2. Um, it's we've had one time where we've had to get an ice pack, and I think it was my friend's kid. Other than that, it's interesting because if you go to a playground and you see kids playing and a kid falls, the parents kind of run over real quickly and like, oh, 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 big deal about it. But in this dynamic, it's different. The kid may tumble over a box, but they're not running to them as fast as they would if it was a regular playground. Um, so that's just an observation on that I've had on our side. But like I said, out of all the ones that we've done, there's been only one time, and it was a friend's kid that needed an ice pack, and it wasn't even a big boo boo. Like they were over it by the time the ice pack got cold.
And Lindsay, you've got it, the pop-up plays and the National Day of Play always happen on a weekend,
Yeah.
like 10 to 2, right? For
Yeah.
the
So for us, we do. We try to keep it simple because I want people to it's drilled into their brain when it is, so they just know it. So for us, it's always the third Saturday of the month. From May until August, it's 10 to 12, the third Saturday of the month. And then again, September, third Saturday of the month. It's just a longer day, and we choose a bigger location. In our mind, it's so this way families can plan next year what their schedules are going to be. And we do have families who will purposely plan vacations so they don't miss the events.
which is hysterical. I love
Yeah.
it. And the more we can get parents to see how much their children are enjoying play, the more we can get parents to let their children play. So that's the other big piece. All right. So for the good of the order, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Expect a big email tomorrow. And if you have questions, you can send them through, and I'll copy Lindsay on them, and she can give you even more wonderful information. Lindsay, thank you for everything.
Yeah, I love this. And I think, like I said, even if it's 5 kids, it's successful because for me, It's the educating the parent on it and reminding the parent that's so important, or grandparent, that that's the important piece here for me. Because I think everyone has forgotten it.
They have forgotten it. So, all right. So, thanks again for coming. And we will hopefully see many grants come flowing in so that we can get those mini grants right back out to you, and you can plan a play day. And then you have a report that you submit with photos and with a write-up. And so make sure that you're getting that report done in a timely way. I think it needs to be back in shortly after, like
Yeah.
sometime in October, after the day of play, like the second week or something.
And if
All
you
right.
make a flyer and you want to share it to us in an email, we'll throw it on our page as well, so we can
Yes.
share your event in our page, because there could be people that want to connect with you that you don't know are close.
And I'm
So
also
it'll be a
going
good
to
way.
send you the National Day of Play logo. So that's on my very big list for you for tomorrow. All right. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you,
Have
everyone.
a
Remember to play.
always